I sold my Mustang I had. It was my baby. It was a 5.0 '89 Mustang hatchback GT. I had Cobra rims, nitrous, candy red. It was so sick. It sounded like it wanted to turn off when it was idling. It was a nasty car, and it
Oh
was my
yeah.
baby, and it's all I had, man. And I decided, that's all I got. I made $5,000. Well, it was actually a crazy story. So the day before I was gonna sell it to start my first business, I dropped it
Yeah.
off at my dad's friend's mechanic to it had a little air leak, and it would like almost shut off at idle. It was like too much because I had an air leak. And I mean, it was cammed out, so it naturally was lopey, but it was like literally it was a problem. So I was like, hey man, I just want to fix this little air leak. I'll pick it up tomorrow. They're gonna come by from Houston, and so the guys come in. I'm ready to start my business. I'm like, yes, here's my money. I'm gonna go buy a truck, a trailer. I'm gonna go buy equipment, and I go to the guy's house, and my car's not there, and I'm like, oh, this ain't good. And so I'm banging on his door, and finally he comes out looking like all sad and drunk. And I'm like, yo, I know where this is going, you know? And I go, man, where's
Story's already been told.
our car, bro? And he tells me, hey, man, I fucked up. And I was like, I already knew. And I was like, where is it, bro? And he took me. And it was at a frame shop down the street, and he totaled it. And I was just like, you could imagine how I felt. I was about to start my business that day, right? And I
Yeah.
was just honestly out of breath. I was out of hope. I was out of everything. And like, you know what? It's crazy now looking back at it, because when I read stories of successful entrepreneurs, they always have a story like this, right? Like when all
Yeah.
hope is lost.
Yeah.
And I was
Right.
just like, yeah, what am I gonna do now? I gotta go back, and I don't have zero money now and no car. Like, damn.
Yeah. Right.
So like, luckily by divine grace and my mother, who was an insurance agent, she had this special antique policy on my car, and that I was paying for that I didn't even know. And it was '89, and this was in 2000 like 13 or something like that. So there's no full coverage for that, right? There's no loan
Yeah.
on it, and I was just paying, I thought, liability. And she had
Ooh.
this little antique, freaking, I don't even know what the hell it was, Gap, the same
Good old mom, dude, taking care of JR. So
dude.
she put like I've never heard of that policy. So this is great. So there's a policy that you can get if you have an older car to cover what it's truly worth, so that you don't get depreciated out of it. And so good old mom looked out for JR. When you went to the insurance company, you were made whole.
I guess so. I don't know what it was. Something about antique. So check this out. So I meet the. So I'm in limbo. My head's down. I'm just like
Right.
sad for, because I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like now I gotta wait another. How long is it gonna take me to save up 5,000? Like to me that was a lot of money back then. I was
For
living check
sure.
to check.
Yeah.
I had no money. And so for like 2 weeks before the adjuster got out there, he finally met me, and I was just in shambles, right? And so I meet him out there, just feeling depressed, and he goes, wow, is this your car? I was like, yeah. He's like, this is the cleanest 5.0 I've ever seen. He happened to be a Mustang fanatic. And I was like, yeah. And he told me all about the car. And I was like, yeah, yeah. And I started telling him everything about the car. And he's like, man, this is the best shape 5.0 I've ever seen. And I told him the story, and he told me, I got you. And he cut me a check for 4,600.